All right, let's get these. All right, can you guys at home see my paper?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So what you're gonna, those of you at home and then in the class, what you guys are gonna get, and just the light help. This is from the other one that don't work. Helps me because I can't see. You'll get like today. Yes. Yes. Right there, Nick. Same one you used yesterday, probably. A paper like this, and we'll go over them. What's all that? So we'll go over these. This whole front page is going to be examples. I like color, so you'll see color. But we're going to do a strand a day. And do that. Is that clear? Not really. It's probably about as good as I can get it. All right. Adding negative integers. When you're adding, Justin, you should be writing. I have to do this 3 times today. When you're adding like signs, you keep the sign. Like 3 plus 5 equals 8. Negative 6 plus negative 7 equals negative 13. Subtract. Opposite signs. And when I get done with the square, I'll give y'all time to catch up. Negative 8 plus 2 equals, and they're opposite signs, so it would be 8 minus 2, which is a 6. And then you keep the sign of the larger number, or the one that has the largest absolute value. And remember, absolute value is how far a number is from 0. Negative 8 is further away from 0 than 2. Subtracting with negative numbers. You're going to leave the first number alone, change the sign, and then change the last number. So we have, and after you do that, you're just back to adding. Then follow the rules for addition. So we've got -6 minus 8. So you would change that. You would keep the -6, change the minus to a plus, and then change the sign of next. And then you're back to the addition problem that you had to the left of this, where it's -6 plus a -8. It's the same sign. So you just add and keep the sign. You guys at home caught up?
Yes.
Multiplying and dividing negative numbers. You guys know that I taught the triangle like this. And I'll do it in a minute. So if you got a positive times a negative times a positive, a negative times a positive, and then a negative times a negative. That's the four, for multiply and divide, that's the 4 things. Whether it's multiply or divide. Let me put that in here. So it's going to be multiply or divide for each one. And if you put down your, if you draw this triangle anytime you have one of those problems, if we had a positive times a negative and we circled that, what's left over in that triangle? So the answer is going to be a negative. A positive times a positive is like 2 times 3. So that's going to be a positive. And then the negative times a positive is going to be a negative. And then if we circle 2 negatives, what's left over? A positive. So y'all can use that triangle as a tool when you get to the multiplying and dividing integers. All right, converting mixed numbers to improper fractions. And we've got, this red is almost dead. All right, and if you remember what we did from there, you take this and you multiply it, and then when you get that answer, you add. Sorry. Like that. So 2 times 3, and then you add the 1 to it. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So that is an improper fraction, is 7/2. Now, as I was telling you guys yesterday, because all of you at home have to come in and take it too, in the calculator, you've got the alpha y equals. That'll give you fraction things. Where's my calculator? If you guys can hit, let me back it up, pull it up just a minute. Those of you that are at home, right here, if you hit the alpha and y equals, can y'all see the fraction stuff that pops up right there at home? I know in here because we've talked about it. Okay, that's how you do that, is alpha y equal to get fractions, or you can enter that in the calculator with an open parentheses, 7 divided by 2, close parentheses. Either way will get you the fraction. You also have that Desmo calculator on the computer that y'all know has the little fraction bar on it too. Converting fractions to decimals. We've got 2/3. Divide the top by the bottom. So we have 3 divided by 2, and I know that it's going to go in there more than that. And then bring the decimal up so you have its place. 3 goes into 26 times, which is 18. Subtract is 2. Bring up another 0. And you can tell by this that it's going to keep going. So that is that decimal right there. Also in the calculator, if you happen to have it, 2 divided by 3, you get a decimal like that. And if your answer choices are in fractions, if you hit the math button here, and hit the math button and then hit enter and enter, it'll give you that as a fraction, okay? Math button is right below the green alpha button, okay? And that's how you you change that. Kingston, you get a paper? No calculators. Okay, just lay it right there. This is calculator inactive. Do what? Oh, can I move it? Yeah. I was just showing y'all that. So math, enter will change. And y'all saw underneath it, first was fraction, number 2 was a decimal. Let me show y'all that again. So you got the fraction and then the decimal. So if I wanted to change, it might not be nothing in there, but if I wanted to change it to a decimal, it'll change it back to a decimal. So it'll go back and forth. And I think that works the same way on the Desmos. Not sure about that. All right, converting decimals to fractions. Number 1, we're going to read as a proper decimal. I better start bringing some pencils to school. Number 2, you use the place value as the denominator. Who was that just came in? Who? Guys, remember I said we were Zooming at 9 o'clock the next 9 days. Number 3, ignore the decimal. And write number as numerator. For example, said read as a proper decimal. Use the place value as the denominator. So that's the tenths place and the hundredths place, right? That's the hundredths place. Ignore the decimal and then place the number on top. And then you would have that fraction. But then to simplify, you do the same thing. You would put parentheses 25 divided by 100 parentheses equals, and then math, fraction, fraction, and then it simplifies it for you. I'll move this in just a second. So 25, can y'all see it? Divided by 100. All right, I want to be able to hit. Okay, math is right here under the green. Math, and then it's on fraction, so enter and enter, and then it reduces it for you to 1/4. Because you know most of them are going to say in simplest forms. All right, then over here you have 3.17. That's saying you already have 3. You have a whole number of 3. All right, and then tenths and hundredths. So you've got 3. Denominator is 100. The top is 17. All of y'all the 3 of y'all that just came in, were y'all able to print this off at home? Did y'all finish? Okay. No. All right, adding and subtracting with fractions. And this is all review, so say you know it and then don't need it, but write it anyway. Make sure you have a common denominator. We have 1/2 plus 2/3. Our common denominator, I know, is 6, just because I know my times tables. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 goes into 6 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. Then we have 7 6. That's an improper fraction. So then we say 6 goes into 7 one time with 1 left over, or 1 1/6. What? That's what I did. You got to find a common denominator first. You make me question myself. All right, multiplying and dividing fractions. Multiply straight across. So we've got 1/3 times 2/5. And just multiply across. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 5 is 15. Zion, I sent them to you in an email yesterday. When you divide, it's the, let's change color. Keep, change, and flip, because you multiply by the reciprocal. So it's going to be 1/4 times 5/3. And then that's just like the multiplication up above it. And then you get 5/12. Did you see it in your email, Zion?
Yes.
Okay. And I'll send out tomorrow's today. So be looking for it. Everybody in here caught up? All right, review questions. Justin, wake up. Okay, I'll do that when we get done. All right, this question says a baker made 2 cakes of the same size. I'll put it up here. At the end of the day, there were 2/3 of chocolate cake left. There was 5/6 of a strawberry cake left. The baker divided the remaining chocolate cake into 2 equal pieces and the remaining strawberry cake into 3 equal pieces. What cake flavor had the larger piece and by how much? Okay, I'm going to draw this down here. This is the chocolate cake. So we've got 2/3 of the cake divided by 2. We put that over there, over 1. And then when we flip it over, we've got 2/3 times 1/2. And that is 2/6 left there. And then we multiply those 2 6s by 3. And that gives us 6/18. That's the chocolate cake, what's left over from the chocolate cake. All right, and then the strawberry cake, because we took out 2/3 of the cake. The chocolate cake, the strawberry, we took out 5/6 of that. And we're dividing that by 3. If we flip that over, we got 5/6 times 1/3, which is 5/18. Oh, I'm sorry. 5/18. So which cake had the bigger piece? By how much? So chocolate by how much? 1/18. So the answer is C up above. And you get the 2 and 3 from that last bullet. Up here at the top, where we divided it by 2 and then divided it by 3. That's where I got those numbers. All right, here's one, Chloe, like you were asking me about yesterday. Mr. Adams had 24 guests at his house for a party. Each guest brought 1 item. 1/3 of the guests brought drinks. 1/4 of the guests brought a dessert. The rest of the guests brought chips. How many guests brought chips? So if we look at that, we've got 1/3 of 24. And that's just saying 24 divided by 3, and that's how many? 8. Thank you. So this one's saying 24 divided by 3. Then we've got 1/4 of 24, and that's how much? And that is 6. 8 plus 6 equals 14. 24 minus 14 equals 10. So 10 guests brought chips. And that is probably, that might not be the one. Well, it should be. 10 guests brought chips. Let me see something. That's the green. It's got that on there. Hold on. I want to show y'all something. When you get the problems that are calculator active, like that one's calculator active because it's not multiple choice. I want y'all to start on this side and put your numbers, start on the left side and put them, and then be sure that you color them in. Color them in the right way, because they're not going to read what you wrote. They're going to read what you colored in. Okay? So they're going to read the dots. So be sure to double check when you do gridded response that you've got the right things colored in. All right, this number 13 down here at the bottom, I'll fix it, is what we'll do under order of operations. You know, and that's parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract from left to right. So what we're going to look at first is parentheses, and we have a -2 times 16 plus 1/4, which is a -2 times 16 and 1/4, which is a -2 times 65/4. And we got that 65 and 1/4 by doing the 16th and 1/4, just like we did on the front side, and added them like that. Then you get a -130/4. Because 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4. That's where that came from. And 4 squared is 16. So if you look, this is 16, and that is 1/4. All right, we're going to put this on gridded response. So we had a -130 divided by 4. And you have, there's probably a negative somewhere on here. I just can't see it. But there's the slash. And then you'd put 130 divided by 4. Does y'all have negatives on it? Do y'all remember from EOGs? Does it have negatives? Okay. Well, if it don't, but that's how you put fractions. You cannot put mixed numbers up here, okay? You cannot put like the 3 and 1/4. They have to be improper. So just flip it, that 13/4, and then do it that way. So 130 divided by 4. No, but you have gridded response, you know, where you have to type the stuff in. There's like 15 to 18 gridded responses on the EOG. Right, Minnie? All right. Evan has a summer job to pick berries on a farm. He earns $2 for every 15 minutes that he picks strawberries. He earns $2.40 for every 15 minutes that he picks blueberries. He picks strawberries for an hour and blueberries for 45 minutes. Okay. For the strawberries, y'all got to tell me y'all can't see it, okay? For the strawberries, he picked for how long? 15 minutes, and he makes $2 for every 15 minutes, but he picks strawberries for an hour, right? So how many 15 minutes is that? That's where you need to know how to tell time. 4. You got to know time. So for strawberries, he picked 2. There's 4 15 minutes in the hour, so he made $8. That's more than minimum wage, O'Darian. That's more than minimum wage. $8 is. I think minimum wage is $7.25. All right, for blueberries, he picked for 45 minutes. What did he make for 15 minutes? $2.40. And how many 15 minutes in 45? 3. So he made $7.20. How much money did Evan earn? $7.20 plus 8 is what? $15.20. So the answer is C. That's not bad for an hour and 45 minutes work. If you, I mean, you know, because it's more than minimum wage. Checking emails. All right, the one down at the bottom. Are you done? Okay. You done now? Okay. A recipe to make 3 dozen sugar cookies requires 1/4 tablespoon of salt and 1.5 tablespoons of sugar. Sam made 144 cookies. How much salt and sugar combined did Sam use? All right, the first thing that we need to do is 3 dozen cookies is how many? 36. Three dozen equals 36 cookies from one recipe. All right, so he had 144 cookies that he made, divided by the 36 cookies that we know is in one recipe. So that means he made 4 batches of cookies. Does everybody see that? Because 144 divided by 36 is 4 batches. All right. We know that it takes 1 1/2 tablespoons of sugar plus 1/4 tablespoon of salt for a batch, right? And if we do the common denominator and stuff there, we get 1 3/4. Do I need to show how to do that common denominator again? Okay. And that equals, if we do make it an improper, 7/4 of salt and sugar together for the recipe, for one recipe. And he made how many? 4. So we take the 7/4 and then multiply it by 4. You know, we put whole numbers over 1. And then just multiply straight across. And you get 28 divided by 4. And that gives you 7. And B is your answer. How many of y'all feel like doing our strands like this is going to help y'all out? I'll tell you all the notes and how to do that. This is calculator inactive, so you've got to be able to do these without the use of a calculator. Yes, ma'am. Are you getting ready to tell me something? Let me pause this video. Hold on, guys. Miss Trent came in. Okay. Thank you. Okay. That means I got to read it again. Sarah participated in a 400-mile bicycle ride. Her average speed was 10 miles per hour. If she rode the same amount of time each day, how many hours did she need to ride each day on the 8 days she participated? I wish y'all could see how little that is for me over here. All right, so what we know is she rode 400 miles. She had a 400-mile ride. It was 10 miles per hour. 6. Oh, that must be a 6 instead of an 8. 6 days total. Is it an 8? It's got to be a 6 because worked out it's a 6. So, yeah, it's a 6. So 400 divided by the 10 miles per hour took her 40 hours. All right. And then the 40 hours divided by the 6 gives us 6 and 4 6. Or if you reduce it, 6 and 2/3. And the answer is C. And me? I've already done them. No.
So actually, you do it 4 times a day.
What?
Actually, you do it 4 times a day.
You think?
Yeah, because you write it the first time. You start
Oh, yeah. I don't have these worked out. What? Oh, Darian? What? I don't have to think. I gotta find them. Let's go to that order. We're taking a break.
So does that mean you can go back to
What do you need to write?
this before you go back
The problems? Okay. You're letting people catch up. Okay. We're taking a break. That don't mean we can talk. We almost done. We just got 4 problems.
I need to see what
More to the right. That way? You guys at home get everything caught up too. might not be working. Those notes may not go with that. Look, now you're a big dummy. Okay. All right, Lee went on a trip to Ohio during the month of January. Here, oh, that looks good. He recorded, and I can see it better. He recorded the lower temperature for each day of 1 week as -2, 1.5, 6.3, 2.9, 6, -4.1, and -3.2. What was the mean low temperature for the week to the nearest 100? Remember, when you find the mean, you add up all the numbers. If I put this, well, y'all know that means numbers? And then divide by how many you added up. That's the mean. So we've got -2, 1.5, 6.3, 2.9, 6, -4.1, and -3.2. So how many numbers is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And divided by 7. All right, you're going to do this. This will be calculator inactive. So here's the strategy I want y'all to do, okay? Add up the positive numbers and then add up the negative numbers, because all you do is add, right? And it'll be calculator inactive. So add up 1.5, 6.3, 2.9, and 6, and then add up a -4, a -3.2, and a -2. And then if there'll be a different sign, so you subtract them and keep the sign of the larger number. That's a strategy for adding integers. That's the same thing if you get a stock question, like the stock was here, it rose 2, it lost money. So do that, put the positive numbers together and add them up, and do the negative numbers together and add them up. And then you're going to have a opposite sign integer problem that you would subtract and then keep the sign of the larger number. And when we add all of these up, we get 7.4 divided by 7, and that's going to equal 1.57. And if we round up, that number's higher than 5, so it's going to be 1.06, which is A. So remember that. If you get a football gain in yardage, guys, y'all probably know how to do it. Ladies might not. If you go forward 10, then you lose 5. It's a -5, and you keep up with the yardage. So just take care of that. All right. Coach Ross baked some brownies. He gave 5/9 of them to the football team and 1/2 of the remaining brownies to the cheerleaders. He had 10 brownies left. How many brownies did Coach Ross bake? All right, so for the brownies, he's got 1 whole brownie. And since he gave 5/9 away, 1 whole brownie is going to be 9/9. Y'all see how I did that? He gave 5/9 away, but he had to take it from a whole brownie, which would be 9/9. So then we've got 9/9 minus 5/9 is 4/9. So, and then he gave half of the 4 nights left. So what's half of 4 nights? So we get 2 nights left. And 2 nights of that is going to be, they gave 5 nights away. There's 45 for the whole. And 1/9 is 5 pieces. So it's going to be 10 for 2. So 2 nights left is 10 pieces left. Because if you gave 5 away, that's 45, right? 45 pieces or squares or whatever you want to call it for the whole brownie. And there's 9 pieces. So that means 1/9 of it is 5 pieces. Y'all follow me? And 2 nights is 10. Does everybody see how I got, take your hood off, how I got 45? 9 times 5 is 45. 45 divided by 9 is 5. So that's 1/9. 9 nights is 45. So this answer here is 45. That's what he started with. Okay, here's another one. Y'all will have one like this. I don't know whether it'll be percents or what, but it's going to be one similar to this on the EOG. The problem on the green paper that y'all were looking at yesterday had percentages. It just changed the decimal to percent to decimal and multiply. 3 pies were made for a party. Each pie was cut into 8 pieces. 3/8 of the apple pie was left. 1/2 of the cherry pie was left. And 3/4 of the pumpkin pie was left. So we have 3 pies. So if we have 3 whole pies and we've got 3/8, we've got, what's that, 5/8? 5/8 minus 3/8 is 2/8. Sorry. All right, then we've got 1/2. Oh, so 3/8 was left. My bad. Scratch this. 3/8 was already left. They all have 8 pieces. So 3 pieces of the 8 was left for that one. All right, if we've got 1/2 of the cherry pie left, how many pieces is left? If there's 8 slices in each pie? 4. And then 3/4 of the pumpkin pie, how much is left? So if we've got 3/4 and we need 8, that times 2, 6/8, so 6 pieces. Guess I need to write pieces so y'all know what we're talking about. So then we've got 3 plus 4 plus 6 equals 13. Excuse me? All of them. It says up here, each pie was cut into 8 pieces. That's how I knew that the denominator is 8. The first one was already 8, and I'm trying to change it to something else. Okay, and then the last one over here. Excuse me? All right, Adam charges $20 to mow his neighbor's lawn every 2 weeks for 18 weeks of grass growing season. He wants to buy a new lawnmower for $165 and gasoline costs $2.50 every 2 weeks. Which statement is true concerning the amount of money Adam will earn this season? All right, so we're going to come down here to the bottom. He makes $20 every 2 weeks for 18 weeks. How many times does he mow? How many? For 18 weeks, he mows 9 times, right? 18 divided by 2. He mows 9 times. So 20 times 9 is 180. Gas is $2.50 every 2 weeks. So the 250 times the 9 is $22.50. So he made $180, right? And he spent $22.50. And when you do all that subtraction, it's $157.50. The new lawnmower costs $165. He's made $157.50. And we do all the subtraction, that's $750. So Adam will spend $750 more than he earns. Adam will spend $30 more than he earns. Adam will earn a net amount of $12.50, or Adam will earn a net amount of $37.50. What's the answer? A. That's correct.
Does the person who knows his yard, does he give him the money for the gas?
No, he has to buy his own gas.
That's crazy, because I charge my money.
That's why when you do a mow payment, if you were going to mow somebody's yard, you would calculate that in the amount you charge them. Like I pay $30 every 2 weeks for him to mow my yard, and that's probably because I have a small yard. Anybody y'all knows where I live, my yard's not big at all. So he probably calculates the gas costs in the amount that I pay him. I mean, like that. You would do that anyway. Like the shirts I make, I'll calculate the cost of the vinyl, the cost of the shirt, and then the time it takes me to do it. So that's how you would do that. All right, everybody at home, I'm getting ready to, I've got to move the module, but it'll be 11 problems. And I do have it where you can redo them. So if you miss them, you can kind of go back and try to figure out what you can do wrong. They're not graded. You remember I told you, Lavia, wake up. They're not graded because all we're doing now is reviewing. But I want you to do them over until you get them right. And then if you have questions to ask me, okay? Everybody good with that? All right, you guys that are online, okay, if y'all are chatting, y'all got to speak up because I cannot see the chat while I'm videotaping, okay?